What's up, everybody? Welcome to episode 83 of Pokemon Trading Card Game Online. My name is Blaze, and we're going to get into a tournament, but on your screen, I want to talk about the cards that are on your screen right now. So, we are going to get into a tournament with probably my Fighting Fit deck, because I actually played like 7 matches in a row, and I played like 7 or 8 matches, and I won all but one of them. So, I had some pretty good success, and I want to see if that carries over to the tournament. Format, however, I want to talk about these cards first. So, on your left is the original base set Charizard from back in the day, and on your right is the new Charizard from the Evolution set coming out in 2017. So, one thing you're going to notice about these cards is that they are very much identical to each other. So, in most cases, for the most part, they're identical, and I'll explain what I mean in just a second here. Retreat cost, weakness, and resistance are the same, except for the new cards do minus 20 damage, whereas the old cards were minus 30. I think that's minus 30. Yeah, that's minus 30. So the artwork is very much the same as the old artwork. This is the one on your right is not. I don't think it's a holo foil card. They probably have a foil variation of this card in the set, but it's not a holo foil. The ability is the same, so the ability is called Energy Burn, and it basically makes all energy attached to Charizard fire energy. So no matter what energy you have on him, if it's double colorless, it becomes a fire energy. It's very useful to get this attack powered up. So that's basically what's the same about this card. The differences are probably for the best, because this card, the card on your left, the original base set card, is, by today's standards, severely underpowered. Fire Spin, originally discard 2 energy cards attached to Charizard in order to use this attack. Does 100 damage and costs 4 fire energy. So while that's a decent amount of damage, in today's day and age, it's not going to kill anything. So it won't even kill a Greninja. It won't even kill. It won't kill anything, basically. So, as time went on, the HP increased for all the Pokemon, and so did the damage output accordingly. And that's understandable, because a lot of changes have taken place. So, the Charizard originally had 120 HP. So if you look at the Charizard on your right, which is the new Charizard from the Evolution set, it is totally different. So this Charizard actually has 150 HP, and that 150 HP is very helpful to keep it alive when going up against other Pokemon. I know that there are a lot of attacks that do 120 damage, so the original Charizard would be just completely destroyed by that one attack. Zygarde is a good example. You'll see Zygarde in a second. It does 120 damage, and it would kill that Charizard in one hit. Well, it would take 2 hits, but because of the resistance. The other thing is Fire Spin. Discard 3 energy cards attached to this Pokemon to use this attack, and it does 200 damage. So this attack will kill an EX. It will kill most, if not all, EX Pokemon, except for maybe... No, it kills Wailord too. Because I think Wailord has... Does Wailord have 210 HP? I can't remember, but if it doesn't kill it, it'll come very close. So it will not kill a Mega EX in most cases, unless you have a Muscle Band attached, or if you have something to deal some extra damage. But I think this card is... It's... Originally, I'll be honest with you, originally I was not a fan of Charizard, because I feel like the card was a little bit underpowered, even for a Stage 2. This card is more powered up. However, I feel like it's good for a Stage 2, but it's probably not going to get a lot of play because of the severe energy cost and having to discard 3 fire energy. What that means for most players is that if you do have the double colorless energy attached to Charizard, and just to power up this attack, let's say you have 2 double colorless energy attached to Charizard, you have to discard 3 energy cards. So you can't discard half of a double colorless, you have to discard the whole thing. So that's the problem that we're gonna run into is this Charizard is what, or the energy cost, I mean, is how do you get it powered up? And when you have it powered up, how how do you keep it there? One thing that might help is the fire energy. That might help quite a bit to keep this card in play, but you have to have 3 of them, or 2 of them, and then an extra fire energy every turn. So there's some opportunity there for different strategies, but at the end of the day, you're going to be burning through fire energy left and right. That I don't feel this card is as efficient as it should be. I think the original appeal of Charizard in the base set years and years ago was basically because Charizard was popular. Charizard's a very popular Pokemon. Most people that played Pokemon that I spoke to just love him because he looks like a dragon, and he's fire type. And I don't blame him. He's an awesome looking Pokemon, but I felt like his card was overrated, and I feel like it was very expensive back then because of how rare it was, and because of the fact that it was Charizard, not because it was a good tournament level deck. It was just a cool card. Arguably, Blastoise in the base set was a much better card because it actually had tournament use. But Charizard, again, like I said, you're going to go through so much energy that I don't think it's worth using. So post in the comments what you think about this card, Charizard, Stage 2 Pokemon in the Evolutions expansion. I'd love to hear what you think. Do you agree with me? Do you disagree? Why or why not? But I did want to talk about that a little bit today because it looks like in the Evolutions expansion they're going through a lot of the older cards and kind of beefing them up and remaking them for the new sets. And I think that's awesome because there's a lot of cards that were great back then that I'd love to see, I'd love to use again. Deluge on Blastoise is a great example of Rain Dance and how that deck worked in the past. And I'd love to see more and more cards come out that actually do that. So, again, post what you think in the comments below. I'm going to go ahead and do a tournament, and we'll get that started. So, let's go ahead and go into a expanded tournament. I'm gonna cover a few more. I'm definitely going to cover some more of the Evolutions cards that I've come across. Pokemon.com has a lot of cards on there already. You can check them out, take a look at what the cards do and what we're getting into and what's been revealed so far. And then once I cover all of those, I'll try to get into some leaked cards that have been coming out. I've seen a couple that have been coming out as far as like GX Pokemon. I mentioned this channel a little while ago, PTCG I think that's his name, PTCG Radio. That's the guy's name. He does some great videos on how to make decks, how to make cheap decks, good decks, fun decks, things like that. He's great to listen to and great to watch. Provides some great insight. I hope to be like that one day, so stick with me. I will eventually get to that point. But he has been going over some leaked cards. I don't want to take all the cards from his channel, but I may do a couple. I'm certain there's probably some leaked cards somewhere. So if you guys want to let me know where those are, hit me up in the comments. I'd love to take a look at some leaked cards, and maybe put those up on my channel in the next video. Tomorrow, I'm actually going to open up a Victini mythical box. So if you are curious what comes in that box or what you might get there, definitely check me out tomorrow because I will be going over the contents of that box, including what I get in the booster packs, the Generations booster packs. I actually am trying to collect the Generations set. It's going to be difficult, but I am trying to collect most of the cards in that set. I don't want to get into playing the game necessarily with physical cards, not yet. But I do want to have a collection, at least a set or something in a binder that's complete. That would make me feel good again. So, and plus, you can't get the Generations cards in the trading card game online, but if I continue to buy packs and open them, I can get those codes to actually put them in the game. So, I know some channels give out codes, and I'll be giving out things later on. My current funds don't allow me to do that. But if I do give out anything, I want to give out physical items. I don't want to give out just codes. So stay tuned for contests that might be coming up in the future. And keep me in mind, because I do plan on doing videos every day, and that's been going on since June. So let's get to the action that's going on right here, though. This is a good setup that I have going on right now. I have everything in my hand that will allow me to knock out this Remoraid on the first turn. So in this deck, I always choose to go second, and the reason being because if I get Talonflame out, I can do some serious damage. For instance, I can knock out this Pokemon on the first turn. Now, this is a Night March deck, and that sucks, because I hate Night March decks, mainly because of how many actions the player can take during the setup of the Night March deck. That's the main reason I don't like them. I'm trying to think what I need to get here. I definitely need this Muscle Band. I also need a Pokemon to come out there. And I'm thinking I need to grab a Machop. I'm not going to have a lot of opportunity to deal a lot of damage. I can get this first knockout. He may be able to do a ton of damage on his first turn. Right now there's no energy attached. So the second turn's probably going to result in, well, he won't be knocked out, but there's 4 already in his discard pile. That's 40 damage, I believe. Or I'm sorry, 80 damage. So, but depending on how many actions he takes on the next turn, it could be a lot more. So I'm going to go ahead and grab Machamp and a Rare Candy. This may or may not come in handy, but I want to be able to power up Zygarde. I think that's going to be the key to victory here. Yeah. I probably should have grabbed Team Rocket Grunt. That would have been, I think, more useful. Because that energy is going to kill me. So next turn I can use Team Rocket Grunt to make him discard that double colorless, and he won't be able to attack me on the next turn unless he has another one, which could happen. He's waiting to get his Pokemon more powered up. I don't blame him. I can tell he wants that to happen. So I'm going to go ahead and grab a... Oh gosh. I feel like I need a... I need a Lysandra. I don't need it yet, but I definitely need a Lysandra. However, if I don't get it now, I may not be able to get it next turn. So I'll go ahead and grab it now. I'm also going to grab this so that my Zygarde stays in play. So he's going to get that Night March going. It's probably going to kill Talonflame. 7... Yeah, it's going to do 140 damage. He's dead. So next turn... Oh gosh. I should be able to knock him out next turn. But then we have other Pokemon to deal with. 140, right? Yeah, 150. Plus the 10 for that one. So my fear here, let me check his discard pile because I think he's going to have another double colorless energy. If he does, that is going to put a wrench in my plan because he's going to be able to knock me out. I probably should have put Landorus out there. That's okay. Wow. I kind of messed up. I should have done Landorus instead. It's very possible that he's not going to have another double colorless energy, and that would be perfect, but I'm willing to bet he does. Okay, he doesn't. Good. He has to retreat, and I'm hoping he retreats. He needs to retreat. Use Lysandra, get him right back. Boom. What's that do? Okay. Oh gosh, that sucks. Okay. So, here's what we have to do. Eevee's 50. Oh my gosh. I'm going to go ahead and bring Eevee out. Yeah, I kind of messed up on that match, on this match. I definitely should have had Landorus out there first. I made a huge mistake, but that's okay. Mistakes happen, you learn from them. Hopefully you'll be able to recover from them. That would be wonderful. Speaking of mistakes, in one of my previous videos, I left this picture up for way too long. But it perfectly illustrates what's happening right now. I made a huge mistake, and it's alright, I suppose. The good news is I may be able to go ahead and I might be able to get Machamp powered up, which would be wonderful because I need that to happen. He'll do 100 damage, which will knock him out. But it's probably not going to be very beneficial. I think this is going to be a very challenging match. If I even come close to winning, it's going to be a challenging match. Here's what needs to happen. This. A huge wrench in my plan here is going to be if he has a Lysandra. That's going to be helpful. So I'm very much relying on the fact that he doesn't have a Lysandra. Of course, even if I do knock him out, I have this Joltik to deal with. There it is. Game over. Well, that was fun. I'm telling you, man, I've had some bad luck in some tournaments recently. I mean, I'll take it. That's fine. But man, it's been harsh, very harsh. So the only thing I have to look forward to, and didn't happen this time. I guess it could happen next turn. I'll go ahead and just do 10 damage, I guess. Is there a resistance? Oh, there is. I didn't know that. Okay. I thought there was a weakness. Yeah. Oh, well. It is what it is. There's really not much I can do here anyway, so... You know, it was a good match. I think there was a good... Man, it really comes down to that one decision. I should have brought Landorus out first and had Zygarde ready, fully powered up to knock him out when the time finally came. Again, this person could have had a Lysandra at that time to make me switch out to Zygarde, so who's to say whether or not that would have worked, but you know, it is what it is. You can't win them all. And I actually went on a winning streak with that deck earlier today. I'll show you what I mean, because I haven't edited this deck in a long time because I wanted to see what my win record was. So overall, 239 wins, 402 overall games played. So this is overall since I first made this deck. This includes any adjustments I've ever made. So the wins since the last edit have been 43, and I've played it 69 times. So call it 43 out of 70 times, or 40 out of 70. We'll just call it 40 out of 70. Let's see, that's probably... The math on that's kind of weird. It's either going to be 2/3 or 3/4. It's kind of in the middle between there, so probably about... it's not 3/5, but it's probably about 5/7, maybe? I don't know. Well, 4/7, I guess. That's exactly what it is. Oh well, anyway, so let's go ahead and go to collection here. I'll open up a couple of packs of cards. Yesterday I opened up Steam Siege, and those are fun to open, but I have so many of those cards already. I'm not going to open up Steam Siege for a while. Let's go ahead and open up Breakpoint here. I'll do 2 packs, and then we'll go into a versus match, which may or may not be a little more fun to watch. So, Electivire. I'm actually kind of curious to get more of those cards. I don't have very many of them. Oh, you got to be kidding me. This isn't the one I want, though. Oh, that sucks. Suicune has an alternate version where its ability prevents all effects of attacks, including damage, done by EX Pokemon. This is not that card, and this is not the card I want. So, anyway, 120 HP, Wind Charm. As long as this Pokemon is your active Pokemon, prevent all effects of your opponent's attacks, except damage, done to each of your Pokemon. Aurora Beam for 110. It's not a bad Pokemon, but the other Suicune is way more useful because in the online game, people use EX Pokemon like it's going out of style. So, it is what it is. But, Glameow, act cute. Your opponent puts a card from his or her hand on the bottom of his or her deck. And Scratch does 20. I like this energy. If the water Pokemon this card is attached to is knocked out, put the Pokemon into your hand. So, that comes in handy if you do need... Get it? In handy? It comes in handy if you want to save... Like, for instance, my Greninja deck only has 1 Greninja. If I need to save that Greninja, this card will come in handy. Electivire, 110 HP, Knuckle Punch for 30, and Electro Slug for 90. Very basic Stage 1 evolution. Slowbro, 100 HP, Careless Head does 10 damage, plus 50 if you flip heads. Walk-Off Homer is a very interesting attack. I really want to make a deck that utilizes this this card. It would have to be based around the idea that Slowbro would be sitting on your bench for the entirety of the game. So, or if you want to use Archie's Ace in the Hole to get Slowbro out of your discard pile and onto your bench, towards the end of the game, it would be wonderful. So, it's an interesting card, an interesting ability. Walk-Off Homer, if you use this attack when you have only 1 prize card left, you win the game. So, I think that this has potential, but it's very difficult to get into play correctly. And I think that every Pokemon that you have, and this doesn't take any water energy, so that's useful, very useful. But if you do have this card on your bench, you want to have Pokemon in play with abilities that let you switch, such as Keldeo. It's a great example. Keldeo also doesn't need any water energy to get him powered up. But you want to make sure that you have Pokemon that can switch out without any problems. There's not very many that can. I think Talonflame's a good example. The retreat cost is 0, so if you do happen to be in a situation where you have one prize card left, you don't have to knock out the Pokemon, just switch out and use his attack. So, interesting card. I will try to build a deck based around this, but right now I don't have the... I'm not thinking clearly right now, so I can't do it. Anyway. Corsola, Spike Cannon does 30 damage times the number of heads after 2 coin flips, and Power Gem does 50 damage. Second, Glameow, Staryu does Smack for 20 damage. Shinx's Roar will make your opponent switch his active Pokemon with one of his benched Pokemon, his or her. And Spritzy does 10 damage with Beat. So, we'll open up another pack of Breakpoint here, because that'll be super califragilistic. I don't know why I said that. Nothing new so far. Oh, I got one new one. It's a Spirit Link. Okay. I like this card because the artwork is really cool. It's not the best Pangoro in the game. Buster Swing does 90 damage, is not affected by resistance. So that's a little bit better than the other Pangoro, except for the fact that it takes 3 dark energy to power it up. The other one takes 1 dark and 2 colorless. You do 80 damage, but you also discard the top card of your opponent's deck. So it's arguable which one is better, but I like the artwork for this one a lot better. Parting Shot does 10 damage. You switch this Pokemon with one of your benched Pokemon. During your opponent's next turn, any damage done by attacks from the defending Pokemon is reduced by 60. Could come in handy. Gyarados Spirit Link. So I don't think I have any Mega Gyarados EX, but that would come in handy later on. I think now I finally have 2 of this card, so I can finally put them in my deck, but what are the odds that if I only have 2 in my deck that I'll have both of them in my hand? And will I need both of them is the question. So I know this card gets a lot of play in tournaments, but I struggled to find the usefulness of this card when coupled with another card. But it does seem useful from what I've seen online and from other matches. Sawana. Brave Bird is 80 damage, but you do 20 to yourself. Scizor Spirit Link. Blitzel. Reckless Charge does 10 damage to yourself. Pancham. I like this Pancham too. The artwork for this is really cool. And I had never used Pancham or Pangoro ever. And then this game kind of opened me up to the idea that that Pokemon's actually kind of cool looking. And I've never even tried to use it. So maybe in the future game in Sun and Moon I'll actually use a Pancham or a Pangoro if they're in the game. But, I'm definitely more open to the idea now. Electabuzz, Knuckle Punch does 20. Chikorita, Blot heals 10 damage from this Pokemon. And another Glameow. I can't get enough of those, let me tell you. Alright, let's go ahead and do a versus match here real quick. And then... So I'm level 22, and the only decks I need to level up are Steel and Dragon and Fairy. And also I have one more slot left in Fighting, but I don't have any challenges for Fighting right now. So I put together a real quick Noivern Dragon deck, which doesn't really do too bad. It's got a little bit of strategy to it, and I think I can actually edit the deck to make it a little bit more tournament ready. But it's definitely a situation where I have to look into it a little bit more. It's probably going to benefit, like almost all of my decks, from Talonflame, but I want to avoid using Talonflame because I feel like it gets overused, especially by me. I use it all the time, and I don't want to. So it is what it is, but Talonflame is a very good card. You might see it again here soon. I had it out in the last match, and it helps. It's so helpful. Here it is again. Let's do it. Talonflame. So, is it going to be a EX? Is it going to be an EX? Is it going to be an EX? I think it's going to be an EX. Yes. So Mew is the only threat here, and it's not really even a threat. I need to get Carbink out because Carbink is kind of the star of this show. Carbink's a wonderful card. I love Carbink. It's such a great card. I'm okay with Talonflame getting knocked out. That doesn't bother me at all. I need to get Carbink, which is right here. Carbink's ability is much like that Suicune I mentioned a second ago, where his ability prevents any damage done, all effects of attacks. It prevents all effects of attacks by the opponent's EX Pokemon. So he can do whatever he wants over getting this Mewtwo powered up. But the only strategy to counter what I'm doing is to use a Hex Maniac. And a lot of people just don't think about it. They just don't even think about having a Hex Maniac in their deck, and I'm fine with it. I've come across it a few times where somebody must have been like EX locked in the past, and they put that card in there, and they had other cards that helped them get that card too. So it's like clearly you've had some issues with Carbink in the past, or Suicune, either one. But when it comes down to those Pokemon, it's like, you know, if you're, I say it in every video, if you're gonna put EX Pokemon in your deck, don't be surprised if decks come along like mine where it's built to counter your strategy. I don't have a counter for Night March, and I've come across Night March quite often. I honestly hate Night March, but kudos to the person who ever invented it, because it's a very clever deck. I'll give him that. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and get another 2 cards. I'll get another Fighting Energy and a Muscle Band. Because why not? I may as well power up everything. I've gotten Carbink to do about 160 damage, I believe. So if I have 2 Fighting Energies, or Strong Energies attached to Carbink, that's an extra 40 damage. Another 20. If I have the Stadium that does 20 extra damage to EX, now we're looking at, okay, 2, 4, 6, 8. And I have a Machamp, that's an extra 100 damage, it's 140. And then I have 4 Strong Energies in this deck. So that actually, I could attach all 4. So I've gotten 140, then I've just attached an extra energy just for the heck of it, and that's 160 total. So I'm gonna go ahead and grab an energy card from my discard pile, because why not? Put it on him. So now he really can't do anything to me. Mew was the only one that could. And even then, he doesn't have any actual attacks. So I need to get rid of Trubbish. That's going to have to happen. What? What do you mean you can't do anything? I got no problem hitting you with this. No problem. 100 damage. You better switch him out. You better get that Trubbish out there. But even then, you better have it powered up first. Because I'm about to grab 2 energy cards. Or 2 prize cards, I mean. Okay. That's a good plan. It's a fine plan. I can just retreat. So, I'm not really sure what you're hoping to accomplish there. Because in all honesty, it's so funny. I just did that. And I'll just do this to get him back. I don't care. It's still 80 damage. There are times when I feel like really bad about decisions I make in this game. I made that decision for the only purpose of making him feel like he wasted a turn or wasted that escape rope. He kept his Mewtwo in, which is great. Is that... Oh no. Okay, that's fine. What energy is that? Prism energy. If the Pokemon this card is attached to is a basic Pokemon, this card provides every type of energy, but provides... Oh, wow. That's actually really cool. I didn't know that card existed, to be honest with you. I've never seen it. It's pretty cool. Pretty cool. So, he about to get knocked out. I'll take my prize card. Thank you very much. I'm going to go ahead and get Machamp out, because it's about that time. So this match is going very well, and I've had tournaments where the match actually goes well. I usually get just steamrolled when it comes to tournaments because of, honestly, because of Night March. That's really the only reason I get steamrolled, and I don't know how many people have watched all of my tournaments all the way through. Maybe you've seen it, maybe you've noticed a trend, but I haven't kept track of how many Night Marches destroy me, but maybe I will. Maybe I'll keep a tally mark. an extra 20 damage because of this. I just realized also, like, I can go ahead and get that strong energy right back. I love Carbink. He's so good. Ah, it's literally the best thing ever. It's literally the best card. Because when you're in control, nothing can stop you. It's so cool. Just go ahead and do my, was it 120? All right, cool. 2 prize cards. Oh, wow. So 120 is not going to be enough to kill Mewtwo X, but I have Lysandra to go ahead and get this one out and get my last 2 prize cards. So I can be pretty ruthless when it comes to getting my prize cards because, honestly, I don't play around sometimes. I don't have to do this. I'm just doing it anyway. 140. There you go. We did it. So, just as a reminder, guys, I do videos every Monday through Friday, and I really look forward to seeing you in my videos. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. I'll be back tomorrow with another video where I'm going to open a Victini Mythical box. Check that out tomorrow. Again, thanks so much for watching. I will see you tomorrow.